I had a grown man take me to a brothel and basically set me up in this brothel to start working as a prostitute. I came from what would be known as a dysfunctional family because my mother had mental health issues. She had alcohol and drug addiction. I had a fairly good relationship with my father up until I was about 12 years old. And my father was looking after us at one stage, and an incident happened between my father and myself, and he touched me inappropriately, and that was basically when I ran away from home for the first time. It wasn't long after I was on the streets, and undesirable people gravitate to somebody so vulnerable. I basically passed as a 16-year-old. The people in the brothel thought that I was 16. One night, the brothel was raided by the police. When they discovered how old I was and told the other women that were working there how old I really was, these hardened women broke down and cried, because they didn't realise that they had a child, living like that and working in those conditions. And I would be very, very aggressive. I would be very impulsive in my behaviour. Led me into a situation where I was actually arrested, but this time it wasn't going to just be a 4-hour sober up. And I found it really, really hard being in prison because I felt like the whole world had sort of opened up and swallowed me up. It was like being in hell. When I was a small child, I always had a sense of God. I was the only one in the family that did, and no matter wherever we lived, I would always seek out the local church and take myself to Sunday school. It's amazing how much that sinks into your heart, and how much of that I actually absorbed. In prison, it was a time that I started to draw close to God again, and through that environment built up my dependence on God, and I started to talk to God more. I didn't really know full on about Jesus, and I was doing this program, the Alpha course, in prison, and I was learning all about Jesus and about the healing and about forgiveness and everything like that. And slowly it started to really, really seep into me. And I think that when I started to learn about the healing that could be had from Jesus, that's when things started to change for me emotionally and spiritually and psychologically. As a prisoner, I had proper medical care so that my liver disease was being treated, and my alcoholism was being treated with the 12-step program. So by the time it was time for me to be released, my dependence on God had increased tenfold. I just realised that every single day I had to hand it over to God and to just ask God to show me how to step through the day, and to lay my head down peacefully at night. And He comforted me and healed me in that time that I was in prison.